everyone. Today we're going to cover off a very common question that comes up when consciously manifesting a specific person, how to deal with them in the 3D or how to deal with 3D circumstances while you're applying techniques and manifesting your preferred end or preferred version of your specific person. And I know this comes up quite a lot in my own community and in the Law of Assumption community. So maybe you're trying to manifest an ex back, but you haven't heard from them yet, or perhaps you're dealing with your specific person in your daily and they're just not showing up as the version of them that you would prefer. Maybe they're being hot and cold, distant, or even doing or saying the opposite of what you want or what you've been affirming for. Some of you also still have to deal with them. Maybe you work with them, live in the same building or neighborhood, you run into them all the time. Sometimes you're even dealing with a third party, and it can appear that things aren't changing, or that the circumstances are not shifting, or that your specific person is not kind of conforming how you would like them to. In any case, if your specific person is appearing to show up in ways that don't align with what you have been affirming for and consciously manifesting and focusing on, and if you're having doubt or you're spiraling or it's triggering you, then this video is for you. We're going to break it all down so you can stop reacting, stay in your power, and persist until your 3D reality reflects your desires. Welcome back to my channel, guys. If you're new here, I'm Talzi. I am a tarot reader, a spiritual and mindset coach. And on this channel, I combine tarot, manifesting techniques, and the universal law of assumption to help you break unconscious patterns, shift outcomes, and get your desired results, specifically in your love life. Now, for those of you who watch a lot of LOA, Law of Assumption content, you may have heard all of this before. Content creators and coaches emphasizing not to react to the 3D time and time again. And even what I tell my tarot audience, that circumstances don't matter. So let's reiterate the why. Firstly, let's remember what the fundamentals are of the universal law of assumption. Your 3D reality that you're experiencing is always a reflection of you, your dominant thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions about who you are and the ones you hold about your specific person and how they think and feel about you. If you're consciously applying techniques and focus to manifest a different result, when you're seeing things that are seemingly not the way you want them to be, it doesn't at all mean your preferred manifestation isn't materializing. Instead, we could almost liken it to, say, watching a movie that you scripted before and now you're re-scripting. Think of your outer world as you're always watching a movie and you're the writer and director and the main character of the show. And when you're seeing things pop up that are contrary to what you're affirming for, it's kind of like the story that you scripted weeks, months, or sometimes even years ago. It's just old thoughts and assumptions and beliefs playing out. Now, your 3D is that old movie, but your new affirmations and assumptions are already creating the shift, and your outer reality and your specific person must conform to the new script or movie that you're writing. They don't have free will. They are a character in your show. And that doesn't mean that it will take months, weeks, years for you to experience your preferable story. You may start to see movement very fast. You may get your result very fast, or in some cases, you may get movement and then see something pop up to the contrary. However, you need to understand that your desired reality already actually exists through whatever state of consciousness you're embodying, and your preferred outcome is inevitable. Now, once you start consciously selecting thoughts or affirming for a preferred version of reality, your outer reality must inevitably catch up. If your outer reality or specific person at any given time doesn't seem to have shifted to what is preferred, it does not ever mean your desire isn't materializing. Reacting emotionally to your 3D circumstances only reinforces them. When you react, whether that's through frustration, sadness, or anger, you're signaling to your subconscious mind that this version of your specific person or situation is the reality you're choosing to focus on, and everything is through your focus. So instead, here's what you can do. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment. It's okay to feel triggered. It's okay. It's part of the process. But don't spiral or dwell there, because then the outer will always reflect wherever your focus is. Just take a deep breath, center yourself, and remind yourself that the 3D is only a reflection of the past. It's like a movie playing out, and that is not your preferred story, and your preferred story is inevitable. Reaffirm your desired reality. Redirect your focus to the version of your specific person that you're manifesting. Use affirmations, visualization, or scripting to align with that version of them that matches your desire. Detach from the need to control. Guys, I can't emphasize this enough, and this is a big common theme that comes up, I think, in people that have stumbling blocks. You don't have to micromanage how your manifestation unfolds. Trust your subconscious mind. It knows how to bring your desires to you in the best possible way. Let's talk about that because it's very important, and it reinforces why timing and conditions, and therefore circumstances, never ever matter when it comes to getting your desired outcome. The 3D only reflects your dominant thoughts and assumptions. If you believe something has to happen before your manifestation eventuates, like your SP needs to split up from a third party, move countries, change their mind about you, or be ready for you, then you're potentially creating the delay and reinforcing that experience and consistently finding evidence that your manifestation is not here. You're placing all these conditions and you are focusing on a reality that you selected from previous thoughts and assumptions. Manifestation doesn't follow logic or timelines. A common narrative in the tarot community is divine timing, and often comes from the belief that something outside of you is in control, and therefore you look at circumstances and conditions that you're placing on your manifestation. Stop putting any conditions on your end. This is what usually leads to you looking for evidence in your 3D and then spiraling and justifying and rationalizing why you don't have what you want. Applying logic and conditions onto your manifestation will put you in a place where you don't believe it's true, happening, or done. All that matters in having your desire materialize in your 3D is persisting in the assumption of having it and living dominantly in the reality or state of consciousness or version of you that has it. It's not your job to even consider conditions, circumstances, or how it will come about. Living in the end or dwelling in the end is persisting in that knowing that it is your reality as soon as you decide that it is. All the pieces move for you perfectly as long as you can persist in being in that state no matter what. The fact that circumstances don't matter is a fundamental truth when it comes to universal law. Your 3D circumstances are temporary and ever-changing. You are the operant power, and your inner state determines your outer reality, always. When circumstances seem contrary to your desire, remind yourself this is just an old story playing out. It's not permanent, and it doesn't define your outcome. Your manifestation is inevitable, as it is already done from the moment you have made the decision that you have it. It will materialize faster in your outer reality when you persist in affirming for it and in that knowing or assumption. If you can persist, the outer reality must catch up. It isn't your job to apply conditions or to focus on the how or the why, or to keep checking for validation. So stop reacting to the 3D. If you're checking all the time to see whether what you have selected through your affirmations is happening, or obsessing, or checking social media and then spiraling or assigning negative meanings, this is quite common to SP's behavior, you're holding yourself in the wrong state. For example, if you haven't heard from your specific person and you start spiraling and then your thoughts are, they don't want to talk to me, they never text me, your outer reality will reflect and reinforce that. You will find all the evidence to support your negative assumption. That shows that you are in that state of being, that state of consciousness. The key is to stop giving focus and attention to 3D circumstances or the way your outer reality may appear in any given moment. This is why you just need to persist in living in the end, regardless of what your outer reality looks like. When you're constantly checking and reacting to see if your manifestation is showing up, or if your specific person has changed or a third party has disappeared, you're in the place of waiting for the change or the result. You're not in a state of trust or having your manifestation. You're looking for proof, but here's the thing. If you're looking for proof and validation from that place, in some cases you're looking at your 3D from a very negative state, and you'll always interpret what you see in a way that matches that state. If you can stop reacting to the 3D, you'll stop creating any resistance. The easiest way to manifest is to stop checking. For example, if you check your SP's social media and you're in a state of doubt or lack, you will assign any meaning to support that doubt. From the moment you started affirming for your preferred reality, there was already movement, and you weren't even cognizant of all the pieces that were moving in your favor. However, your assumptions and dominant thoughts are what is going to be experienced in whatever reality you're selecting in any given moment. So if you are assuming rejection, you will experience rejection. And if you seek validation from that place of rejection, then your mind and your experience must validate that rejection. If you assume connection, that's what will show up. This is why repetition is key. As I've explained before in other videos, your subconscious mind is going to deliver you your preferable manifestation, provided you keep feeding it the preferable story or the thoughts that align with what you want. If you are confronted with circumstances that seem to not align with your desired end, then just assign new meanings to them that work in your favor. Be delusional if you need to. We've spoken about this in previous videos and live streams. Rampage or return back to your affirmations and persist with those and put yourself back into the state of knowing that you have what you want. It's already done. Persist in the assumption that everything is working out for you, that you are God of your reality and always have been God of your reality. The version of your specific person already exists, waiting for you to dominantly stay there with your focus and your knowing. If your specific person hasn't messaged you, rather than assuming they don't care, affirm the opposite. They're thinking about me. They love me so much. They will reach out any moment now. They love talking to me. I am loved, chosen, and prioritized. If you have a trigger point around feeling like you're not a priority or you're not valued, choose affirmations and thoughts that align with your preferred version of reality. Neutralize triggers. When you feel triggered, pause and observe your reaction. Ask yourself, what assumption am I holding onto that's creating this feeling? For example, if your SP seems distant, you might be holding on to the assumption that they don't care about you or value you. Shift this by affirming what you want instead. I'm the most important person to them. They love to be with me. I'm the only one that matters. They're so loving and always give me so much attention. Redirect your focus to the version of your SP and relationship you desire. You want to take your attention or focus away from an old story or assumption you hold and persist with your preferred version of reality. So stop giving power to circumstances or appearances that don't serve you. Timing and conditions don't matter. Manifestation does not follow logic or timelines. Truth is, you are the operant power always. If you believe certain conditions must happen before you get your manifestation, you're just creating your own delays. Let go of the how. Go to the end, to what you're consciously manifesting, and trust that everything is aligning perfectly for you, because you are the one who decides everything and everything is happening through you. Live in the end, being the version of you that knows you have what you want no matter what. Persist and trust the process. When you're tempted to react to the 3D, remind yourself, this isn't my truth. Or this isn't my reality. My reality is that I am loved. My reality is that my SP adores me. Or my reality is that specific person and I are madly in love, committed, or whatever it is that you're affirming for. If there is a third party, take your attention away from the third party. Stop focusing on them. Go straight to the end. The third party is not part of your story or your preferred reality. They don't exist in that reality. It isn't your job to work out the how, but all the pieces will move to give you exactly what you're affirming for or the reality you're selecting, because that is where your focus is and your dominant thoughts and assumptions. So live in that end by embodying the assumption that your wish or desire is fulfilled. Ask yourself, how would I think and feel if my specific person were already showing up as the version I desire? Or if we were already in a loving relationship? Saturate your subconscious mind with that story and take your attention away from anything that is contrary. It is irrelevant. Stay in the state of being the version of you that has what you want, and the 3D must catch up. It is spiritual law. So, practical tips. If you simply can't ignore the 3D, then assign meanings that work in your favor. If you need to, for example, if your specific person hasn't reached out and you find yourself doubting your manifestation or spiraling, tell yourself they're busy planning something special for me. Or the opposite, they won't stop texting me. These are just examples, guys. Or if you find yourself triggered for a moment or reacting, persist in general affirmations if you are doubting your own power or that you can manifest. For example, everything is always working out in my favor. I always get what I want, no matter what. I'm in the reality where I have what I want. I'm the version of me that has what I want. Just continue to reaffirm from that place, reminding yourself that your manifestation is inevitable and you are the power. This will impress your subconscious mind. You will then more quickly experience your preferable reality. Your subconscious is always delivering whatever you persistently focus on or feed it without logic or reason. The key here is detach from the 3D. If you're dealing with your person on the daily, interact with them normally, but mentally hold the assumption of their ideal version. Remember, guys, you are always the operant power. Everyone is you pushed out. Nobody has free will in your reality. Your 3D reality doesn't define you. You define it. Persist in your assumptions and your affirmations. Trust the process and watch your reality transform. If this video resonated, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what new story are you choosing to persist in. I look forward to sharing more with you guys.